doesn't make sense, but every cell in my body eats its protein. Oh, grass is only for cows and rabbits that don't know how to kill and conquer, to win and rule. Oh, it's what we learn at school. Ooh. We don't worry about seas. We recycle and sort by source. We've banned all plastic straws, quit smoking. Oh, every paycheck we get, 10% is donated to clean our conscience, and it works out great. Woo-hoo. Why should we change? Sleep less, be more efficient. Come on, perform better, climb higher, educate away. I am all my degrees, my masters. Hey, look at me, I am somebody. It's what I learned at carbon dioxide. My conclusion is that it's all a lie. Our guns are mine, we're not smart. We will survive. We've got technology, it's not alive. We will survive. The seas are thriving, we will get by. It's not a lie.
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to redefine yourself and to let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. and own your decisions. People will always tell you what to do, opinion how to live. So let's create space for what matters most to you. You'll be glad you did. Now start reclaiming your time and your mental well-being by saying no more. No more. Say it loudly and proudly. In other words, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
What is up? Busy night. Busy day, busy night. It's just over in, I guess, Pages. It's a Page, maybe. I forget whose channel, but they're still going at it on the debate from earlier, and that's cool. I don't think they had clear thoughts in the matter, but that's okay. It was very interesting, and I had a great discussion. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Tonight. What's up, Smoking Spaceman? Happy Friday to you as well, my man. Good to see you. Looks like Anson, I think, sent me some contact info there. That's good. That's good. It's going to be helpful in the future. It is Friday. It's a great day. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to do so many things. Been a busy day. Busy, you know. But hey, man, sometimes that's how it works out. You know, it's all good. It's all good. I was going to do an episode of Gun Prattle prior to this show. However, I did not. And the reason for that is because, first of all, I can talk about guns on this show. And second, well, I went over and had fun talking trash over somewhere else. And that was fun. It was great. Like, it was wonderful. Wonderful. I've had a really great day today. Honestly, it's been, you know, I've got, I had some stuff work out the way I wanted it to. My son and I went and shot some clay targets together, and that's always a great time. And he did really well. I was a little concerned. Yes, I bought a plane today. That's true. I did. I'm super happy about it too. Welcome, Anson Knowles. How are you? Anson Knowles is some sort of financial guy. I don't know whether he's an accountant or an actuary. I'm not really sure what he does. I don't ask. But he would say that this is a reckless decision. Reckless. But it is not. It's awesome, though. It's a very good time. Anson, I'm going to assume that you're the one that sent me this information over on my Discord. So hopefully that's you. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight, whatever. Not really sure what I want to talk about. I just was over on Page's channel talking about world economics and how, as much as we want to blame everybody else for our sins, the reality is that as Americans, we've to some degree lost control of our politicians, and that has not helped us very much. Matter of fact, I would argue, and I believe I could argue successfully, that our politicians are out of control and really don't care what any of us actually think. I think I could argue that pretty well, actually. I could probably argue the converse as well, but I don't want to argue the converse. I want to argue that. And I think I can. But anyway, went out with my son today, shot some clay targets. He did very well. I did okay, mediocre, maybe slightly less than mediocre. It was great. Cleaner says he was listening and did not hear anything new. I agree with that. I honestly don't know that I actually heard anything new, but it's the presentation of the information that I felt like was so shocking to so many in the audience, because a lot of people don't talk in the way that I do about these things. Did we, the people, lose control, or did the dog chew through the leash and is now running amok, I'm adding a word there, through the neighborhood streets? That's a great question. Wonderful question. I would say that at the beginning of World War II, we were in control of our politicians, and our politicians respected and feared Americans as a society, as a citizenry. And after World War II, they did not. They did not at all. They may have a little bit, but what they ended up doing was they created an intelligence and security network post-World War II that guaranteed them to eventually end up at a security state. An intelligence state. What's interesting about it is if you look back and look at what the press and the politicians were saying about Russia and East Germany at the time, or pardon me, West Germany. No, it was East Germany. When you look back and see what they said about them, that's the same thing that could be said about our politicians right now, to some degree. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's where we started to go wrong. Vietnam sealed the deal. When we went to Vietnam and our politicians did not let us win the war in Vietnam, that was it. That was it. Yeah, that was it. Our politicians knew that they were in control at that point, and that they never had to answer to the citizenry again, and they have yet to do so. That's the way it is. I don't make the rules, guys. I don't make this up. I just observe and report. Speaking of observing and reporting, I will be over the next few weeks. I'll be doing a lot of shooting. It looks like that I will be. Where did I put it? There it is. Looks like we got a few things going on here in the near future. I make the rules. Yeah. Okay. I would like to make the rules. If I made the rules, the world would be a much better, more prolific place. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Anson, why don't you make the rules? You know, you're a little bit on the lunacy side, but I feel like you can make some rules, make some decent ones. We make the rules. That's what Anson says. I think he's wrong. What do you think? What do you guys think? Do you think Anson's wrong? I think Anson's wrong. No, I can go shoot tomorrow. Interesting. Nine. No, can't do that. And to make the rules, I don't know. He wants a monarchy. As long as he's king, that would probably work, right? Oh, I'm already staged there. 8:45 a.m. All right. Looks like tomorrow I should be shooting a match in the morning at the Glock store. I'll have to check and make sure that works out for everybody. I think my son wants to go do airsoft tomorrow, and so that might be a problem. Cleaner 409 says every human is equally as fragile. If we don't like the structure, we can fix it or change it. Interesting. That's solid. I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. What should we talk about tonight, guys? Don't have a huge turnout tonight. There's a lot going on out there in the analverse, and there's even though I'm analverse adjacent, not actually part of it, because not into that sort of thing. What do we think? The Painalverse. That's right. That's right, Anson. The Painalverse. Yeah. I am not into the Painalverse. That's gross. That's gross. Sorry, guys, I'm being rude. Where is everyone? Employed people are so boring. Actually, there's just a lot going on. You've got Paige is still running her panel after her debate with Witchy Bitchy. There's a lot of stuff that it's really scattered. I should have probably just not done the show tonight and just gone to bed early. But it's I'm pretty excited. I got a lot of stuff going on, and so, yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. So it'll be great. But the internet is very scattered. A lot of stuff going on. At least what I saw, there was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I could double check. I hadn't actually looked that much. Dusty's about to go live here. Actually, he should be live. He apparently does not go live when he said he would. So that's that's kind of interesting. Yeah, it is very scattered tonight. And to be honest, I was gonna, that's fine. You got Rattlesnake TV going. There's a very large number. You'll get a hot chick to get on here with me. Okay. You know what I find really interesting is that there are. Oh no, you're not. No, you're not. Not that moron. Oh no. Not that moron. I Killed Earl was just a weird show all the way around. That was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I Killed Earl is just a weird, very weird person. Very strange. What's up, RCC? How are you? Sorry, I'm not being very entertaining at the moment. I'm just trying to get my kind of see what's going on out there tonight that's worth talking about. Maybe bringing the debates back. I've been not getting bullied, but certainly pushed gently in that direction. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool. What's up, RCC? How have you been doing, man? I am a little tired tonight. I've been a little stressed out, but that's okay. Court ruling reversing nationwide access to abortion pills via mail. Interesting. We have a case going in front of the court here in Tennessee where a woman claims, I don't know that this is an accurate claim, but she claims that she had a health issue where she needed to have an abortion or she would die. I don't know how valid that claim is. I don't know how real that is, any of that stuff. I don't know. What I do know is that supposedly she had to go to another state because in Tennessee, we have a very limited number of reasons where you can actually do that. Where in the name, to have an abortion, where where the patient's life is in danger. And apparently she didn't meet the criteria and she had to go to another state. And that was a hardship on this person and blah, 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 blah. Now she's suing the state. And I think that's going to end up being a problem for her. What's up, a helping hound? How are you? Good to see you in the chat. Was best candy for self-defense? Fun dip, red vines, chocolate covered peanuts, or jawbreakers? It's a great question. I don't know. I would say the best candy for self-defense would be I don't know. You got me on that one. Probably pixie sticks. You just blow those things into somebody's eyes and they'll never see again. Obviously, Anson goes right straight for the low-hanging fruit, literally, because he is the low-hanging fruit. So, yeah. I don't know if how many caught my show from earlier, but it was actually a good show. I thought it was I thought the show was really good because it covered a lot of different things that I feel like is probably overlooked and ought not be. So I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. You invented low-hanging fruit? Fair enough. I don't really get I guess maybe I missed the eugenics debate, so I don't understand, what they were really going after or whatever. That's okay. Rock candy from the 60s? Absolutely. There's a ballroom code for a new presidential bunker. Maybe. I've seen some people suggesting that. I don't think so. I think that's like kind of stupid. If you wanted a new bunker, you just say, I want a new bunker. Easy. Missed the debate, but the start of the after panel was just fucking nuts. I came in on the panel and I had some fun. The whole stripper pole thing was just legendary, honestly. Legendary. I think I might have actually hurt feelings on that one. I may end the show early tonight and go get all my gear ready and go shoot a match in the morning. I don't know. I'm up in the air. We'll see. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen, because right now, right meow, I'm already entered. But I don't have to go. But my gear's not ready. Decisions. But it's not hard to get it ready. Thought they're already building a new bunker? Could be. I had so much energy earlier today for this, but I tell you what happened, guys. So we've been looking at buying a new business. We've been looking at doing a bunch of different things, and it's just been kind of one thing after another. And just today, I'm just like, yeah, you know what? It's going to be what it's going to be. You know, we're just going to let it roll. And yeah, so I did buy a new airplane today. I have pictures of it. I have video actually. Let me go find it. Whatever I did with it. ICE opened a new detention center in California. That'll be interesting. Have you heard all of the different complaints about ICE? Have you guys heard all of the new? What's with people complaining about people doing the things that they're supposed to do? We hired them for a reason, right? Yes, no, maybe so. What's up, Anson? How are you? Anson's having problems. They're borderline incompetent in your city. That's unfortunate. That's sad. You guys want to see the new airplane? I'll show you. I don't have a problem. It's not it's a cool airplane. It's actually it's very rare to have a new airplane. Just saying.
Check.
Hey, there's Anson. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm all right. You can hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm using a different computer. It's different setup for me and my.
It does seem a little odd.
Yeah. It's not my fault. I don't make mistakes. So. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there's Anson.
Yeah.
It's my new toy.
Yeah, I heard you got a new toy, your airplane thing going on there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to become one of those aviation content creators flying around in my airplane doing stupid shit.
Yeah, and you can deduct the cost of the plane as a business expense.
You guys want you to understand. Hang on, I'm on the wrong tab. Check this. Check out this tail number. 3, because I shoot at 365 9mm X. So my call number will be 659 X-ray. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'm rolling with it. This is a 1968 Aero Commander 100. It's called the Lark. What's up, Johnny Dollars? How are you? Just out of annual, ready to fly. All pretty. What do you think?
I don't know, man. It seems kind of old to be flying up in the air. I wouldn't take something that old up.
You are that old. What are you talking about?
1965 shit, though, man. That's getting into my parents' age. 68? Yeah, that ain't much older than my parents, man. I mean,
it's a little bit older than me, but not by much.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost old enough to be my dad, Grid. You're basically a what was that, like a boomer, right?
I'm a Gen X, bro.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
I am like first year Gen X though, 71. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks, Johnny Dollars. Yeah. So I was on the fence about buying it. You know, I didn't really need another one, but this one's just out of annual and all of that. So, you know, I was like, why not? Why not do it? So it's cheap. It was very cheap. So,
hey, you got Kel in your chat, man. Kel, come on up. Get up here. Grid likes to hang out with you.
Yeah, we haven't hung out in a while.
Yeah,
Anson looks more like Richard Dreyfuss more and more each time I see him. Gonna need a bigger boat. That's funny. That's very funny. Anson, you know something, man. You are looking kind of in that like college professor kind of gig going on. What are you doing, man? What do you got going on?
Well, I don't know, man. I just, I spend all day staring at spreadsheets and custom reports and I've made some really cool shit with some, custom plugins on Google Sheets. And when I'm not doing that, I'm reconciling, trading accounts and, that kind of shit, like really boring crap, Grid, right?
Yeah.
And I've got some really.
That's why I made this meme is just for you. Give me one second. Johnny Dollars. Yeah, I'm down to moderate, man. Just let me know when. I'm good. I'm good with it. After socializing and being nice to people all day, it's nice to sit down. Now, drink a beer. I know that you don't drink, and neither do I. But I have to appeal to the overall people. Are you drinking a beer right now?
No, it's a seltzer water.
Seltzer water.
Polar. Black cherry flavored seltzer
he's
water.
Drinking a seltzer water and being an asshole on the internet. That is Anson in a nutshell.
Yeah. I told one guy on the internet earlier that his pussy dried up.
Who was that?
Confluence.
Confluence thinks I'm mad at him because of the thing with Easy the other day, but I'm not mad at him at all about it.
If Confluence thinks you're mad at him, just tell him to shut the fuck up. That's what I do when he gets all like his feels. Yeah, when he gets his feels. Yeah, he's a big fucking pussy. Just tell him to shut the fuck up.
I like Confluence a lot. I just I don't know. First of all, I don't know why he stopped coming over here. I think you scare him or something. I don't know.
No, he's gotten really like he started looking inward really hard on his own channel, and he streams every night on his own channel, and it basically eats up all of his time to do any kind of stuff outside of his channel. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's more of a him centric kind of.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could be that way. I mean, even tonight, I'm just like, I already streamed earlier today. I'm not really feeling it tonight. I don't really have anything. I already talked about all the shit that's going on in the world that I want to talk about earlier today, right? Like, we're I think it's fucking hilarious the visual that people have on China, right? Like the Chinese are sending boats. They're gonna be attacking American ships, and I'm like, what are you, an idiot? Like, what kind of moron are you? Like, seriously, how is it that simple logic evades people so much?
Yeah, I know. Like people don't understand that like the most aggressive country on the planet that fights, in wars that are of aggression are not like China. They're not Iran. Like those are relatively peaceful countries. They don't pick wars. It's the United States that does that. It's Israel that does that, right? We're the aggressive evil country.
Right now, we for whatever reason, we have our world police hat on and we go around to be the world police. I don't think it's out of aggression. I think it's out of a misplaced sense of do-goodery. We decide who the good people are, and we decide who the bad people are. We shouldn't. It's none of our fucking business.
No, what's happened is that the executive branch has been neutered for domestic policy purposes, right? Like there's a limit to what Trump can do domestically, right? But because of the way that the neocons have set everything up and the way the deep state has set everything up, the president has pretty much unlimited foreign policy power, right? And so Trump realized, hey, wait, I can't do shit domestically because they whine and bitch when when some protester gets deleted because he stuck his nose where it didn't belong, right? So what I'm going to do is say fuck that. I'm just going to go around and do that around the globe, right? I think that's all. And the problem is Trump fucked up and he picked the wrong fight. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. I think Iran's been a problem for a very long time, and I will freely admit that Iran's been a problem for a very, very long time, and we, for whatever stupid ass reason, just keep kicking the can down the road to the next administration. And that's actually really my biggest problem with the American government since World War II is we never solve anything. We don't and Vietnam sealed the fucking deal.
Yeah, I think Trump made a mistake though, right? Like messing with Iran. I think it would have been better if he would have stayed on our hemisphere, right? Like if he would have stayed like Venezuela,
come on, Anson.
and then Cuba.
You're not this dense. Come on, you know that we were already there. We're already over there, and we have to do it this way so we can get.
We don't have to do it that. No, we don't have to do it. We could have. We could have just said, "Hey, look,
hold on. I really need you to explain this to me because I've tried to follow your line of logic on this a couple of different times, and even giving you massive benefits of the doubt in different ways. How? Given all of the facts, right? Given Kuwait, Afghanistan, Syria, Jordan, all of these things, how the fuck do you expect us to withdraw from the Middle East and it not become a literal, even worse war zone?
Yeah.
Than when we were there,
right?
And everyone still hate us. And still have the terrorism problems and still have all of the problems.
Yeah.
Instead of doing what we're doing, which is we go, we've got we negotiate, and I say we, it was more than us, but it's been negotiated that the Middle East countries will police largely themselves with only limited U.S. oversight and influence. Very limited. And the only problem was Iran. And if we don't address Iran now, we will be addressing them just like 20 years ago, where we continuously address them every 5 years. And we send men over there. We send helicopters over there. We've blown the fuck up. And then we have American soldiers losing their lives, losing their limbs, coming back with all kinds of PTSD and all of that kind of nonsense, which I want that to stop. And the only way it stops is if the Arab countries can police themselves.
I agree. Yeah, they need sovereignty. We need to respect the sovereignty of the nations over there and let them manage their own.
But Iran was never going to do that.
Yeah, they kind of were though, right?
But they
Like
weren't. No, they were not
that's a
kind of were.
propaganda. That's a propaganda point. That's the
I
Jews
think you're
in
on
the
the wrong side of
media.
that propaganda point.
That's the Jews in the media brainwashing you.
No,
You gotta
no.
you gotta wash that goy brand of yours out a little
First,
bit.
the first problem is anytime somebody says that's the Jew or
It
that,
is,
that's
yeah,
the Israeli
yeah,
viewpoint on something,
is.
I immediately I can't even take it seriously.
I know. Yeah, you're programmed. You can't.
I'm not programmed.
Listen
I think
to.
you're
I got it,
programmed.
Grid. You're programmed. It's okay. I'll deprogram you a little
No,
bit. All right?
I
I'm here
don't
to
need
help.
any mind control nonsense on me.
I'm here to help, Grid. It's all right. It's all right. So what the problem
I
is?
did not.
Is that,
hold on. I did not hear about Israel sharing Iron Dome technology with the UAE, but I mean, I'm not surprised by it at this point.
Yeah. So so the countries over there in the
But
GCC.
hold on, Anson. Hold on, you got to get away. You have to stop doing this. Israel. Either you're trolling everybody on the in the internet, or you just need a little bit of recalibration. It's never been the case in my life that I would expect to hear Israel's working with the UAE, Israel's working with Bahrain, Israel's working with Qatar, Israel's working with Jordan. I mean, like that blows me the fuck away that Israel is working with Jordan. Jordan would literally rather Israel be a parking lot than help them out usually. And here they are helping them out.
Okay.
Why? Come on, make that make sense.
So yeah, I know you've got the programmed perspective. So I
don't have the programmed perspective.
I'm trying to answer, Grid, but when I start talking, you get all excited, and then you talk more.
All right,
so
go ahead.
calm down. Calm down.
All
So what's going on here is like some of those countries you listed in the GCC, they don't get along with each other, right? And like Qatar, for example, like their native population does not agree with their government per se, but Qatar is actually more sympathetic to Iran now than they were prior to this whole conflict starting, right? Like there's a lot of sympathy within the population. The population of Bahrain like wants to overthrow their government at this point because they're basically allowing the Israeli genocide to continue against the Palestinians. Right. So what you have is a brainwashed perspective of what's actually going on in the Middle East. The populations of these countries hate the Israelis. They want them to disappear, but the people governing are governing against the will of the people in the populations for the most part, with the exception of countries like Oman and to some degree Qatar, because Qatar isn't fully on board with what's going on with Israel right now and Iran. Some of these other countries have been systematically undermined by the Israelis for generations, and some of them the leadership has been bought out. Like Jordan and Bahrain, those countries are owned by the United States because they bought the leadership off, right? So there's a difference between like saying you never thought that these would be X or Y, and acknowledging that the governments in those countries don't represent the people and they've been purchased, and that's what's actually happened.
I don't believe any of that's actually happened.
Yeah. Okay. I know.
I mean, no. I mean, I honestly think one of us is a victim of programming. But so
I watch Qatari news every night, Grid.
Yeah, I don't.
I know. I'm saying like I like listen to the perspective of those people in the countries that they're in.
Okay. Okay, sure, you can watch that. All of these countries are sick of the extremism. All of them. They're all sick of Iranian leadership. The Iranian people themselves were protesting.
Yeah, no, those were okay. So Trump actually admitted, and it was reported on by Trey Yingst, that the United States funded and armed the protesters in January, and that's why.
But the protesters were protesting.
They were armed by the United States, and they were carrying out violence on behalf on behalf in the direction of the United States. That wasn't an organic thing. That was an attempted coup that the CIA was constructing.
Those protests started last year. Sure, if we armed them this year, 2 months ago or 3 months ago.
It was in January. Okay. Yeah, when they started executing them because the protests became violent. Because the United States was arming them, right? So that's what's been pointed to several times.
Hold on. No.
Yeah.
If you say that it was December that we were arming them, it was before December when they were executing them.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't until they started really becoming violent that the government started executing them.
Yes, but that was before December.
Okay, well, I may have my timelines off, but what I'm saying is that just like every free country where people are allowed to express themselves, which Iran is, just like every free country where people are allowed to express themselves, there are occasionally demonstrations and people who disagree with the government who go out. But this most recent wave of protests that had to be put down with force became violent because the United States is interfering in the sovereignty of Iran.
First of all, you and your Israeli, like the Israelis are the evil of the world.
Well, I just said the United States. I was saying the United States is evil in that situation.
Well, but I'm getting there. You and this Israeli is at the root of all evil mentality. You're ignoring a lot of basic facts. Do you know why that when you mention Bahrain, so you know why Bahrain's citizenry often clashes with their government?
Well, yeah, it's what is that called? It's an unelected, theologically opposed government, right? The government of Bahrain is Sunni, and the population of Bahrain is Shia.
Yes.
I understand that.
That's why. Because they don't agree with the war, not because they don't agree with the direction the government's going in.
But the other Arab nations are the same boat, Grid. Like the populations don't agree. And that's the problem in the Middle East. It's that there was no two-state solution.
I agree with you.
There was no two-state solution in Israel. Israel forced a one-state solution and started to commit a genocide. And that's the reason why that there's so much consternation over there right now. If there had been a two-state solution like Bill Clinton tried to do,
I disagree with that characterization, but that's irrelevant to the point.
It's totally relevant.
Iran is the problem child in that area. The entire rest of the region wants them settled down and wants Iran to become an actual contributing member in the region, or
that's true, yeah,
or get turned into a parking lot. That's what the entirety of the.
That's not what they want. They want peace. They want commerce. They want normalized relations across the region, and the population wants Israel to respect the rights of the Palestinians. Right? They're basically totally disrespecting the rights of the existence of Palestine. They're committing a genocide on the Palestinians, and the Arabs in all of the GCC countries, who are the rank and file regular people, want to see that fixed. Iran is.
Hold on, you keep saying genocide, and yet the Israelis have actually helped the actual Palestinians that are not part of Hamas.
By what? Like doing their illegal settlements in Palestine? Is that what you're talking about?
By literally rendering aid.
By never prosecuting any of the Israelis who kill the Israeli settlers who kill Palestinians?
Providing actual health care by removing them from the war zone, so that when the whatever the fuck they call themselves now,
by killing 75,000 of them in the last 3 years.
Yeah,
that's really helping them a whole lot, isn't it? Yeah, it's like when they do a ceasefire with Lebanon for like the past 6 months, but they never stop firing. So yeah, it's all the same. Hamas, all the Arabs, all the people that basically
all the same.
The problem is the existence of the state of Israel, right? That's the problem in the region. As soon as Israel ceases to exist, there will be normalized relations amongst all the Arab nations, and that will fix.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
there's never been normalized relations in that region ever.
That's not true. That's not true. Those Arab nations all have populations of Jews in them, because the Jews were accepted into those cultures
Yes,
the
there
by
used to
the
be
Arab.
1,000,000. There used to be something like 1.5 million or 3 million or
Right.
whatever the number is
Until
Jews, and now that's like less than
yeah.
500,000
Yeah,
or
because
whatever.
the Zionists created hate amongst the population there for the Jews because of their Zionist policies. When the Zionists started causing problems, that's when the problems started to exist. Prior to
Okay,
that, there was no real
Hanson,
issue.
this is insanity, man. Literally, the in every country, the Jews were exterminated.
That's not true. Yeah, even Iran has a large Jewish population right now. They fund
No,
a
they
state
don't.
hospital
They
specifically
don't.
for Jews in
No,
Iran
they
because
don't.
they do. They have
Hold
an
on, I'm fact
affinity for the
checking that
Jewish
one. I'm going to fact
population
check
in
that
Iran.
one. Hold on. Because my recollection is, and it could be flawed, that there was something
You've been programmed by the
three or
by
four
the
hundred
Jews in the media.
thousand
It's okay.
Jews in Iran in like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and now there's zero because they've been killed.
It's not zero. They fund a state hospital for the Jews over there too because they're a part of their culture. There's also a Christian population there.
How many do you think there are?
I don't know, like what, 10,000 now?
There are 10,000 left.
Yeah. Okay. So I knew what I was talking about.
Or however many there were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, see, and that goes to my point, right? There were more there, but there's less now because of the Zionists basically creating ill will towards Jews in that sphere of the world. If the Zionists hadn't been like systematically taking land that wasn't theirs and killing Arabs for no reason, then that problem wouldn't exist today.
No, that's not how that works.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how that works.
People take land. That's what we do. That's
yeah. And there's consequences for that, right? People dislike you for doing it.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, and that's all. I'm acknowledging the reality, right? Like we're funding colonizing Europeans who are calling themselves Jewish. We're funding colonizing Europeans who are calling themselves Jewish because we feel guilty about World War II.
I don't see where they took land. That's the problem.
You don't understand the history of Israel and how they systematically take land that's not theirs and then justify it in a post hoc way to pretend like they were doing it to protect themselves. They're doing it systematic. They're doing it right now in Lebanon. They've displaced 1 million people in Lebanon and continue to bomb it even through the ceasefire. They're systematically demolishing houses and entire communities in Lebanon during the ceasefire.
So I'm trying to read this because it's a bunch of words that don't say anything.
Yeah. I didn't realize that you were triggered by the whole Jewish thing, man. I mean, I thought it was just common knowledge.
I don't like the trolling.
I'm not trolling though.
Then that's even worse.
Why is that worse?
Because it's a narrative that's not vetted or true.
It is true, and it is vetted. If you watch like regular American media, I don't watch regular American media. Okay, well, you're really only receiving apparently like the Israeli narrative, like the allowed opinion narrative.
Not any of the Israeli narratives.
Okay, you are if you consume American media, you are.
But I don't consume American media.
You kind of have to.
Literally don't watch TV. I literally do not watch TV.
Right. Okay. However you got programmed, I'm not going to argue about how that was. For some reason, you think that Israel is the victim in the region, and they're not the aggressor.
I literally have studied the history of Iran and how fucked up they are. And to be honest, and I've said this many times, we are more to blame for that than anybody else.
Yeah. I agree with that. Specifically Iran, yeah. Yeah, but their constitution in Iran exists, like the revolutionary constitution that they have exists in the format that it does because of us and Israel, right? Their constitution requires them to not acknowledge the existence of the state of Israel and to do what they can to prevent it from existing, right? And the reason is because of the Zionist policies of Israel and the United States, right? That's why they call us the big Satan and little Satan, is because we've consistently not respected the sovereignty of all of the nations in the Middle East. And Israel has been our wingman in that endeavor. And
that's not true. That's
it is
absolutely a
true.
lie.
No,
That's
it's not. What do you
absolutely
think?
a
What do you
lie.
think? Afghanistan? Do you think
Hold on. No,
Afghanistan was that? Do you think
No,
Iraq was that?
do we or do we not respect and ensure to some degree the Saudi kings and princes?
Do we respect the Saudi kings and princes?
Yes, and protect their little fiefdoms to some degree. Do we not train their soldiers? Do we not help them out? Do we not sell them weapons? Do we like we would anybody else, obviously? But I mean, we're not going out of our way to do that. But do we not do all of those things? Hold on. Do we not do all of those things?
Yeah, we do the same thing with Egypt.
That's a lie, then, that we don't do that we do not support these sovereign nations.
Yeah, I mean, they're client states of the empire. They're in good standing. They're not the ones that disagree with us, right? We only have a problem with the nations that won't bend the knee to us.
Hold on,
right?
we don't have
like
a problem
Saddam
with Jordan.
Hussein or like Iran or Syria.
We don't have a problem with Afghanistan.
Yeah, we had a problem with Afghanistan, and we fought a 20-year war with
Afghanistan when their people bombed our people.
When did that happen?
We fought an entire Afghani war over.
No, that was the Saudis that did that. The Osama bin Laden was a Saudi guy.
But the Taliban were mostly Afghanistan.
Yeah, but the Taliban didn't have anything to do with 9/11. The Saudis, the Al-Qaeda was just using their territory. Al-Qaeda is a Saudi terror organization. They're Sunni.
My son's on the other side. He just opened the door. I could hear it. Sorry. I got distracted. Yes, Osama bin Laden was a Saudi.
Yeah.
He went into Afghanistan because he got thrown out of Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's an extremist. Yeah, the Sunni extremists
correct.
The Sunni extremists are very dangerous, right? They're not like the Shia.
That's why the Shia are in control and the Sunni are not.
Yeah. The Shia, and we've actually allied with the Shia who are allied with Iran several times in the Middle East to get rid of the Sunni extremists because they're the dangerous ones. They're the ones that do like suicide vest bombings and things like that. The really bad Muslim extremists are the Sunnis, not the Shias.
I don't know that I would go that far, but okay.
Yeah, and that we actually had problems in Iraq because of that, because we had partnered so much with the Shia militias that it was pretty apparent that Iran's proxies were basically going to dominate Iraq after we left. And so we had to extend the Iraq war to double cross the people that we were fighting with and basically betrayed the people who he had allied with initially, and that's why we had to do the surge. That's why the surge had to happen under George W. Bush, because we were fighting basically a second war with the people who had been working with us. And that's part of the reason why the Kurds right now in Iraq did not take up arms like we gave them, because we gave the Kurds in northern Iraq arms to basically go into Iran and expand what would be Kurdistan, and they refused because we have betrayed the Kurds several times while they allied with us, like in Syria.
Yeah, it seems to be a back and forth, but in fairness, they've also betrayed us. So
we armed them in Syria. We worked with them in Syria.
Yeah, we worked with them in Syria, and then they became an element of ISIS or ISIL, or just pick your acronym.
ISIS-K is what it was called in Syria.
ISIS-K. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, but only parts of them, because you know why, Anson? You know why? Yeah, you know what I'm going to say, right?
Because the political boundaries in that region were written post World War I, and they don't reflect the actual demographics of the population, and it causes constant consternation.
No, but that's a damn. If it was that way, we could fix it. No, because they're tribal people. Because they're sand. They literally are. They literally are tribal and what's the word I'm looking for here? Vagabonds. They don't want permanent homes. They don't like the way that we treat the desert. It goes back generations, and so it's very fluid, right? So this is actually one of the problems. This is an interesting thing because I've never seen this in real time before. This is what happens when we as Americans try to look at another country's political system through our eyes.
Yeah.
And say things like Zionism matters, right? Like,
it does matter to the people in that population. It does.
Give two shits about Zionists. They care about the fact that they're building oil rigs out in the middle of the desert where they used to like have a date palm thing or some bullshit, you know, like they don't care. And they just, and they're very fluid as to their alliances. Hey, they like us this year. Next year, maybe not so much. Maybe we don't give them enough tribute. Maybe we don't give them enough guns. Maybe they feel like they, you know, are being punished by God for their association with us or whatever it is. That's just the way it is, Anson. And you keep, you know, you are one of those people, and I respect that. I respect the idea of trying to bundle this into, well, it's Israel, it's Zionism, it's these political systems that we recognize. But the reality is that you're dealing with a bunch of tribal people that just, and very religious-based people that really just don't want us there. And they have a reason for it, right? You're right. We have betrayed them. We have 100% of the time not understood the way that their countries work. And when we do have somebody that understands, like that Charlie, whatever his name is, Charlie Wilson down in Texas, who understood those people and understood how, you know, what they wanted and how they wanted it done. When we have somebody here that understands that and can work within it, we get rid of those people and put somebody else that doesn't understand shit in place. And then those people feel betrayed. And over there, that means something. And over here, it doesn't. Yeah, so I honestly don't care about Israel. I don't care about any of this nonsense beyond I want us out of the region. And I think the only way that happens is Iran has to stop being a bag of assholes, which they have been for a very long time. And the 8 or 9, or I believe it's 8, I could be wrong. I could go back and find it, but I'm not going to. The 8 or however many countries that are going to supposedly step up and be the enforcement arm for the world in that region. Hopefully they step up. Hopefully this happens. This is the best thing ever, in my opinion. But I don't give a shit about Israel. I don't give a shit about Iraq. I don't give a shit about Iran. I think it's interesting that everybody keeps talking about how great friends Iran and Iraq are, when at the start of this 24 days ago, 3 weeks, whatever the fuck it was, at the start of it, the Iraq army sent soldiers across the border in Iranian uniforms and killed Iranians.
That's not true. That's not true. And something else too, Grid. The government of Iraq gave permission to the militias that are in their government. The government recognized Shia militias to attack the United States because the United States had started firing into Iraq and disrespecting the sovereignty of Iraq, right? So it's actually the opposite of what you're saying is what the truth is.
I don't think so. I'll go back and look, but I think I'm right.
Yeah, I know I'm right.
Thinking that's a pretty ballsy thing to do, to dress your soldiers up in Iranian uniforms and send them over there to kill Iranians.
Yeah. But
Arno says Brookings. I don't know who Brookings is.
Brookings is
about $5. This is going to trigger the TT.
At Brainbenders Banter donated $5. Super chat. Agreed, Grid 100%.
I don't know which part, but thank you very much. I've said a lot. It's always fun with Anson because we leap from point to point. We don't like crawl through. We're like, whoa, we're over here. Whoa, we're over there. So it's all fun. It's all great. It's great viewing, I guess. But Brookings says this about Shiites and Al-Qaeda. Both can see the virtue in having more anti-U.S. violence, whatever the source. They've engaged in quiet tactical cooperation dating back to mid-1990. That's true. That's very true. But look, again, we keep trying to put Western viewpoints on non-Western people, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't.
You're right. It's almost like we have no business being over there. And the best way to end the best way to end our participation in that region and return to some sort of sense of calm and economic development is if we leave, apologize to the Iranians for all of the insults that we've done to them over the past several decades, and then on the way out, carpet bomb Israel and stop sending them aid.
I'm on the other side of that. I think we need to, honestly, I think we just need to carpet bomb Iran, turn it into a parking lot, make a nice, clean slate of glass to walk, where you can ice skate across that bitch, and then just throw a grenade on the way out just to be sure. That's what I think we ought to do. I've been watching the Iranians for a long time. They're fucking assholes. Now, and I would say that it's interesting because I think the Persians, who technically are Iranians, are not, I think they're great people. I think that they have a lot to offer, but there's other sects in Iran which are not good people. And by the way, the Persians hate those fuckers too.
Well, it's a multicultural nation, right? I mean,
Sure.
I think like 60-something% of the country is Persian, and the rest of it, I mean, there's a mix. But there's even like Greeks there. There's a Greek population there because of Alexander the Great and his conquests.
Yeah, but they don't consider themselves Greek.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
I read differently. I will reread that. But I read that they did not consider that they were Greek in ancestry, but that was it. They don't consider themselves Greek. They consider themselves some kind of like they have a name for it. I forget what it is.
Yeah, but they're a highly advanced civilization. They're not backwards.
They're not a highly advanced.
They're not backwards
on,
people. They have a beautiful culture, and we don't respect it. People like you. Culture. People like you have been programmed to think that there's something that they're not, but they're actually like.
No, I absolutely have not been programmed for jack shit. I think that they're a horrible culture. I think that they absolutely shit upon their entire culture at multiple times throughout history, to the point where the actual Persian culture is gone. It's been erased by this Muslim nonsense, this absolute ridiculous religious warlike party that came into power and has not let go. They're like a tick on the back of a dog. They're like one of those big ass blood ticks on the back of an Alabama hound. Those bastards just won't let go, and they will never let go until they're pried out and burned with the end of a match, just like I do a tick.
You know,
this is the truth of it, because when again, Iran, what used to be Persia, used to be the jewel of the Middle East. It used to be an amazing place. They used to wear Western clothes. They used to.
Yeah, that's only because we replaced their government.
In the world.
That's not how it. No.
Do you want to blame the Jews for that?
No,
too,
no.
Nancy?
I want to. No, that's actually
Jews
America's fault. Well, so we forced on them the
we
Shah.
did not force on them.
We in 1953, we forced on them. So we replaced their democratically elected government, who was going to nationalize their oil industry. We replaced him with the Shah, and he was an evil man. He killed the population there. He acted against the will of the people. He threw lavish parties. He was a materialist. He was an evil man. And that's during that time is when the women were dressing like Western women, and you call it the jewel, but it wasn't the jewel.
Okay. I'm going to have to read this since Anson couldn't shut up. Anson has been compromised with SSRIs via feminist carpet munching. Yes, that's true. Infusion through fluid transfers, and it shows. Just listen to him. LOL, Griftmas. Thank you very much for the big 5. That's awesome. By the way, it's accurate. It's accurate. No, come on, man. Look, I will agree that we precipitated the coup that ended up after 20 years, over the course of 20 years, that eventually installed the first Ayatollah. And once the Ayatollah came into power, even though he literally promised the CIA blowjobs in the back of the Benz, they got none of that shit. what they did is the minute the Ayatollah was in power, he told them all to pound sand, and he declared a holy jihad on America, the devils, and he literally tore apart all of the westernization that was in Iran. Do you remember? Do you remember the college students that we had to go in and rescue in Iran? That was Ayatollah did that.
No, that wasn't the Ayatollah.
That was
afterwards. That was radical college students. It wasn't the Ayatollah. And the issue is that you're conflating different events, right?
I'm not conflating.
You're conflating different events. The college students is not the revolution. Those are two different things. And the radicalization happened over time, and that was in response to things that were going on in Israel. It took 20 years.
It took 20 years for the radicalization to happen because we left a power vacuum, and when we obviously we were still attempting to prevent the French and the whoever the fuck else from buying Iran land to put oil exploration rigs. I don't know what you call them, oil fields.
So there was a fear amongst the population that the United States was going to try and reinstall the Shah in Iran, and that's why the students took those hostages. Right? There was, because
the Ayatollah literally told them that, hey, I'm going to be deposed because I disagree with America, and they're going to get rid of me.
Well, can you blame them for thinking that?
You must protect our way of life. So
can you blame them? Well, I mean, we had already done it once. I can
blame the Shah for that. He knew that was a lie.
No, not the Shah. That was the Ayatollah that said that.
Smoking Spaceman, I know. It's not the lights, it's the camera. I've somehow, I don't know how I did it, but I've somehow triggered a setting in my camera where it's made the autofocus ridiculously sensitive. It's just crazy sensitive. And I've got to go in at some point into the menu and turn down the sensitivity on the autofocus. Normally it was off all the way because I normally use a fixed lens, but I changed the lenses back to an autofocus lens, and I don't know why the settings are the way they are. Arno says, sure, not confuse government and citizen, but perhaps just not pretend a non-involvement of Iran. That's true. And what to do about the death threads? I'm not really sure what he means. It may be death threats. He might be using Texas speech. And 80-year plans from Iran and China leadership. POTUS 39. Which one? Yeah. So I'm not using OBS right now. This is straight camera feed. But yeah, no, I mean, look, we've talked about this many times before. The whole thing with Iran and Iraq, and the how we back in 1948 through 1952, we precipitated 70 years of bullshit.
We supported the Iran-Iraq war, gave material support to Saddam Hussein to slaughter 400,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
Iranians.
That was during the life. 280s, right?
That was during the life and all the Iranians that died that died at the hands of American tax dollars.
Well, hold on now.
Those people are alive today, and those are the ones who are running.
Glazing. No. You're glazing because what you forgot, or what you're not mentioning, is that the entire reason we came back and got back involved in the region after we had tentatively left, because they turned Iran into a snake pit of filth and disorder, was the Mujahideen, because Russia was kicking their damn asses. We were asked to come back in. We were begged to come back into the region, and it was politically a nightmare because nobody wanted us to go back over there, but we can't help ourselves because we like playing in the sandbox. What can I say? We're all kids. We love playing a sandbox, apparently.
Well, the people that are running Iran right now remember us supporting Saddam Hussein in the 1980s.
We did support Saddam Hussein.
We did. And they have a visceral hatred for us because we've participated in the destruction and killing of many of the people in their country.
That's true. We did do that.
And I for one, if I were in that country and I had been repeatedly attacked and had my my government overthrown, and recently, like an unprovoked bombing for no reason. Like, I would go to all lengths necessary to prevent the country attacking me.
But the reason that we supported Saddam Hussein is because Iran was working with the Russians to destroy the rest of the Middle East armed forces. That's why the I can't talk. The Mujahideen. Thank you. Fuck, I can't. I just said it like 3 seconds ago.
Yeah, the Mujahideen.
Yeah, the Mujahideen. That's why we supported them, and that's why the Russians hated them, and that's why the Iranians hated them, and that was the entire basis of the original ISIL was to go after the Mujahideen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it had nothing to do with them hating us because we were interfering. We've simply picked a side that said, hey, we don't want the Russians getting into this area and creating even more havoc. And the Mujahideen said, yeah, we don't want them either. And so we backed Kuwait. We did. We absolutely. Charlie Wilson's war. We backed Kuwait. We backed Jordan. We backed Egypt. We backed all of those fuckers.
Well, and regardless of the reason why is kind of irrelevant at this point. The end result is that the United States participated in the killing of hundreds of thousands of Iranians in the 1980s, and those people were the siblings and compatriots of the people running the country now.
Sure. And we've lost a bunch of Americans over there in the sandbox, so we don't like those fuckers.
Yeah, well, we've lost those people, but we weren't innocent in that, right? I mean, like the war in Iraq. We weren't innocent in that, right?
They're not innocent in any of this.
Right. So there's no reason for us to have been there, though, is my point, right? Like, none of the things that you've mentioned were just reasons for us doing anything.
What do you mean?
Well, like, you've given no justification for why we violated the sovereignty of any country. I'm just relaying the
facts of the situation. I don't need to justify something
other than just like a sheer imperial hubris. You have no reason why we should have been involved in any of the conflicts in the Middle East.
Yes, we were asked, first of all, to interfere to keep the Russians from destroying the Middle East. Remember, the Mujahideen came to us and begged us to help them, begged and said, hey, we're going to die. Our people are dying. Please help us. And we did.
Okay.
And at that point, we didn't even give a shit about the oil because we weren't even dealing with them. We were dealing with OPEC.
That's Cold War propaganda right there. They begged us to interfere in a Cold War.
They did. They made 3 trips to the U.S. Anson. They made 3 trips to the U.S. to literally ask in front of Congress,
we fought a Cold War proxy war in North Korea, and we fought a Cold War proxy war in Vietnam.
But South Korea never sent a delegation 3 times to appear and speak before Congress, begging the U.S. to please come stop these people from killing our people.
What is that? So why is that still any of our business? I still don't understand why.
I don't agree. Well, you just said that we had no motivation. Yeah. I don't agree with the motivation.
Well, it's just because some terrorist organization was begging
the entire process that happened.
They were a non-state actor.
Right? No. I'm not going to let you do this, Anson.
The way that it's framed when Iran does this, it's called supporting terrorist proxies, right? But when the United States does it, you frame it as something positive, right? So us going over to support non-state terrorist actors like the Mujahideen, from your perspective,
non-state terrorist actors.
But when Iran
supports non-state terrorist actors,
think that it's supporting terrorism.
Hold on. Who are the Mujahideen?
I'm going to use the same justification
you do. That
Hezbollah wants Iran's help to fight off the aggressors in Lebanon.
Who was the Mujahideen?
They were a bunch of rebels fighting against the Russians in Afghanistan, right?
They weren't rebels.
They were a bunch of terrorists in Afghanistan doing a counterinsurgency.
They were not terrorists.
Yeah.
They were not
non-state actors who were fighting a guerrilla war.
They were state actors. They were state actors in states that didn't have armies.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Lebanon is right now, right?
Yeah,
But
Kuwait
my
did not
point-
have an army, right? That's
Lebanon's
accurate?
army has been totally defunct, right? Because
Right. No, I'm
been set up
talking
that
about
way by-
when the Mujahideen came over here in 1972, 1973, 1974, when they came over here. And I'm not sure that of those dates. I think it was early 70s. When they came over here, Charlie Wilson's war, when they sent the delegation over, when the Kuwaitis came over and they said, "Hey, please help us."
Yeah.
Was there a Kuwaiti army?
No, that still
No, there
doesn't
was not.
justify us going over there
Right.
and violating the sovereignty of those countries just because there were people in the
We
region
did
who wanted to stay.
again. We didn't if they ask us if
we-
they're Kuwait was
that would've been fine.
Kuwait a nation state at the time.
We didn't stay in Kuwait. If we would have stayed in Kuwait, that would have been fine.
Okay.
If we stayed in Kuwait, then we would have been invited
as
there.
well. Yes, 100%. We went into Afghanistan as well, but I believe that we have permission to do so. I can look into that. I don't know, but we didn't. But the Afghanis didn't really seem to mind us not didn't seem to mind us preventing their people from dying from Russian hinds, shooting people up just for the fuck of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Russians ruined their empire or the Soviets ruined their empire in Afghanistan, right? That was basically like the military misadventure that led to the collapse of their country, because it was basically a giant economic drain, right?
But that was because they instead of, and to some degree we are almost as guilty of this as they are, but we being Americans, we're not complete morons like they were, but they went in and they tried to make deals, but for whatever reason, the Russians, I don't know. I don't know, because I haven't read anything from the Russian side as to why they did any of this shit, but they started attacking civilians. They started attacking villages. They just started randomly fucking killing people. I still don't understand why. I don't know that anybody understands why. It wasn't to take territory. It wasn't to gain ground.
Yeah.
Like I still don't understand why the Russians did what they did.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't understand why we're doing what we're doing over there right now.
It's actually easily understood what we're doing.
No, we're killing civilians for no reason. No, that's not understandable. I mean, on the opening day of the bombing campaign, we committed the largest war crime since the Malay massacre.
I'm not sure what Cleaner's trying to say. Both sides have information curated that they have seen return on searches. The flow of information defines your positions. The algorithm used to give you search results shapes your views. He's saying
that we're both programmed based upon the algorithmic information.
I read books. I don't read algorithms.
And I specifically delete all of my history and search information so that I actually curate my algorithm manually.
Yeah. They broke, I'm not sure who Mr. means, but they broke international uranium security agreements, not opinion. They said they didn't have long-range missiles. They used them. That's enough for me. They have over 60% enrichment, not opinion. Look, we're I'm going to, while Anson's going to say that I'm on his side on this, or that's a point for his side, I'm just going to tell you right now that we gave them the nuclear reactors. Eisenhower did that in his Atoms for Peace program back in the late 60s. And so that's on us. I mean, they've had it the whole time. When people would say, well, we think they have the ability to make an atomic bomb, we didn't think shit. We knew they did. We gave it to them. What the fuck are you talking about? We think. All right. Like we gave that shit to them back in the 60s. The problem is that, because of all of the things that happened through the 70s into the 80s between the Russians, the Cold War nonsense and everything else, it became such a fucking mess.
Yeah. So we gave the Iranians are signatories on the Non-Proliferation Treaty, right? They ought to be protected because they have had international inspection after international inspection, have not been found to be making nuclear weapons, right? They have a peaceful.
That's not true. Well, okay, they haven't been found to be making nuclear weapons, but they have been found repeatedly to be making more enriched uranium beyond the level they're approved for in greater quantities than they're approved for multiple times. That's fact. That's absolute fact. There's absolutely. And the last time was the most egregious, and they simply said, "Hey, we're doing this for medical use," and nobody believes that.
Well, the point is, though, that they've been under sanctions for like 40 years or so, 50 years. They wanted a negotiation point.
And if they have the actual enriched uranium while they're being sanctioned, that's a problem, right?
Yeah, well, the point is that they wanted a negotiation point. They were building something that would be able to be traded away to get out of the sanctions, right? The sanctions were there to basically force them to bend the knee to the empire, and they've refused because they actually have self-respect. They have sovereignty, and they
I don't think you're accurate there.
Yeah.
Let me read this really quick. Iran and China voicing plans of conquering the world different ways. Carter didn't interfere then. Ayatollah threatened us all. That's true, but yeah, you're talking about Khomeini, I think. Khomeini was a nut job. Steinmeier sent flowers to Khomeini's anniversary 2020. Trump bombed. Not really sure what that
I don't know what that is
supposed to mean, but it's hey, I appreciate the comment. Khomeini was a lunatic, but that's okay. I mean, whatever. Now
the Ayatollah that we just assassinated for no reason, he was actually a really chill dude.
We had two of them.
Have you ever watched videos of him interacting with people? He was just a member of the clergy. He was like their pope. The way that their governance system works, he was sort of like the guy at the top, but he was only the guy at the top because he was the most virtuous man in the society, right? Like the reason why they didn't create a nuclear weapon because he made a fatwa that banned the Iranians from being able to make nuclear weapons because they're immoral, right? I mean, categorically. And so we actually assassinated the person who was in charge, who was their only barrier to nuclear weapons. So we basically like guaranteed now that Iran will make one.
Mr. Mister says, I searched for the receipt. It's not my algorithm. I wanted to find out if it was a lie about uranium. I have the receipts. I remember reading about it before there was an algorithm. When you say we have this, we say for security reasons, we need simple inspections. They say fuck off. That's true. They did that multiple times.
They agreed to it.
That's a problem, and that's not just the U.S. having the issue. That's true. The U.K. is the most famous example where they told the U.K. to go fuck themselves and did not allow them to even enter the nuclear facility. They were not allowed to even enter it. Yeah, now, that was a while back. I think that was in like 90 or maybe 89. So it's been a while, but that happened.
There was a inspection system that was set up and being followed in the JCPOA that Obama set up. So like more recently, if you look at their compliance and agreements with us, that JCPOA that Obama set up with them was really good. And it was followed, and Trump basically tore it up and guaranteed that there would be a conflict during his first term.
Yeah. I mean, look, bottom line is, I honestly don't care about the Israelis. I care even less about the Iranians. I don't think there's nothing noble about the Iranians. There's absolutely nothing noble about their government. They're a bunch of lying snakes that are getting what they deserve. And if we carpet bombed them into oblivion, I would not. I'd be sad for like 2 minutes, and then I would move on and eat my breakfast. And that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anson. I know that you really, 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 really want to virtue signal to the entire world about how the great Satan is being belligerent to the world. But in this case, I really don't care. I want this to succeed. I want Iran to be pounded into rubble or compliance. I don't care which.
We're losing.
I want the 8 nation states or whatever the fuck they're calling themselves now. I want them to take over to be the enforcement arm in the Middle East. the entire reason that we're hated over there, and I know that you don't agree with this, but it doesn't matter. The entire reason we're hated over there is because every time a nation has problems over there, the first thing they do is call for the United States, or they take U.S. prisoners so that we come running, and then we, fuck everybody up. And they're tired of it. I'm tired of it. Let's just get the fuck out of there and just let it be, right? The fact that the Saudi that you have 7 Muslim countries, Shia and Sunni, working with Israel is shocking, like absolutely shocking.
Shocking.
And it should be applauded, not shit on. That's just where I'm at on it.
Yeah, so they were all in agreement. The United States has had bases in a lot of those countries for years and years and years, and Iran, I identified them as legitimate targets because they were using their countries were being used as launching pads to attack and illegally bomb them, and so they started fighting against those countries. But those are enemy countries. Don't care
about the propaganda. Don't care about it. I just want the result.
Yeah.
The result being that Iran gets into line with everybody else, and
the everybody else
we are no longer the peacekeepers in the area.
Yeah, we'll be out of the we'll be out of the region because Iran will kick us out. Like we have about
Iran's
a month.
Not going to kick us out. That is delusional.
No, it's not. We have about a month left.
That's literally delusional.
No, it's not. So in about a month, we'll run out of oil in the strategic petroleum reserve at the rate that we're emptying it. And when gas goes
emptying it
in about a month, we're going to run out.
Why do you think we're emptying it?
Because the oil has stopped since the Strait of Hormuz was closed.
We only get 1% of our oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Why does
oil is a global commodity
move the needle? Why does 1% move the needle?
Oil is a global commodity. 20% of the world's oil flowed through there.
Yeah, but it doesn't come here.
Right. It doesn't matter because oil is a global commodity. It does not matter because the price of oil is set globally.
But sure, but that's not causing us to empty our reserve.
We are emptying it.
Look it up. Can you show me that?
You want me to pull up some records? Because Trump announced earlier, like a month ago, that we started dumping it, and we're continuing to dump it.
Show me that.
I can get you something for that. Yeah.
Do that. I did see the UAE has exited OPEC. I think they're doing that ahead of the game because they see where this is going. Once this is all over and Iran is no longer the bastard child, there's not really going to be a whole lot of reason for OPEC to exist. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think I am. I think that what we've actually done is we've started to, my understanding is, and I could be wrong about this, but this is just my understanding. I don't have a Texan here to back me up, but my understanding is that the plants and the refineries in Texas that could handle the Venezuelan heavy crude and instead of the Texas sweet crude were being spun up.
So the current planned release of oil reserves is going to take us down to 243 million barrels, which will be the lowest we've had since 1982. And my point is that
what is that going for?
It's going for the market rate, right? It's
no. So hold on, let me see.
My point is that at a certain point, we're going to have to stop releasing oil. And when we do, oil is going to go up to $200 a barrel. And at that point, like the economics on the Western civilization side, the United States and our allies, it's going to disappear because we won't have the capacity anymore. Like the United States is a net importer of oil. Generally speaking, we produce a lot of oil, but we also import oil. We import
oil because our government doesn't allow us to refine the numbers that we can refine.
So the reason is kind of irrelevant, right? But because of how much oil we've been releasing from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve this past week, we've actually become a net exporter of oil, right? Which is odd for us. It's a position that we're not typically in, because of how much disruption there is in the supply. And what's going to happen is that if this lasts another month, like the economics of us continuing to close down 20% of the oil and natural gas supply will basically make it impossible for us to continue. So Iran can just wait us out.
They can't wait us out. They absolutely cannot wait us out.
They can.
That's insane.
No,
they are in trouble right now because they literally can't get rid of the oil fast enough. Like they can't move it anywhere. They were trying to move it overland through their pipelines, but they can't move enough through the pipelines. They literally are out of storage capacity. Every Iranian, not just Iranian, but Iranian adjacent tankers, all of them are full to the brim. There's no more, they've no more capacity, and they're still pumping oil. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they can't do anything with it. So they can't get it out of the Strait of Hormuz.
Right. So, and that'll make our problem worse, right?
That doesn't make our problem worse. That makes their problem
because
worse.
oil is a global commodity, and when their supplies go offline, like the UAE supplies have gone offline, like the Kuwaiti supplies have gone offline, like the Qatari supplies have gone offline. The only GCC country that still has a positive export amount is Saudi Arabia, and that's because they have a pipeline going out to the Red Sea. But if hostilities start again, Iran's just going to prevent that option as well, right? So everybody's gonna suffer, right? So the best thing Trump can do is just apologize to them and leave right now.
No, I think you're wrong. I think we're doing the best thing, and that is shutting it down, making everyone, including the Chinese, pissed off at them.
They're going to be pissed off.
The Chinese literally, all right, Anson, literally the Chinese came out and said, "Hey, Iran, quit your shit. Get it in order." They just sent a bunch of warships to the Strait of Hormuz to keep the whatever rebels Iranians are not claiming they don't back, that are going to fire rockets at ships leaving the Strait of Hormuz. Literally, the Chinese have sent warships to protect their ships because they don't think that we have enough American ships there to protect their ships. And they don't want, and to be honest with you, I don't know that we would protect their ships.
So do you understand what you just said there though, right? So the United States can't send our ships into the Strait of Hormuz, or else they'll be attacked.
Our ships are in the Strait of Hormuz.
They're not. They're way far out of it. They're very far out of it. They're not in the Strait.
No, they're not.
But what you just said is that China can, right? So China's ally Iran is allowing China.
China's doing the same thing we're doing.
Preventing us, right? Because there's been a reshuffling of the world order.
Obviously that I don't.
There's been a total reshuffling of the world order, and China has more control over the Middle East than we do now.
That's not true.
That's what you just said.
No, I said that they're protecting their ships because they know we won't.
We can't. But we can't because we can't go in the Strait of Hormuz. We're prevented from doing that by Iran.
We're not prevented from going anywhere.
Yeah, we have ships way far out. Way far out. We have them at the edge of the Gulf of Oman. Way far out away from Iran.
That's not true, because if that were true, then Iran could get ships past us.
It's why our blockade isn't working that well. We can barely blockade because we have to stay so far back because we're afraid of getting close to Iran.
All right. So look, I don't have geo-positioning of our fleet. Yes, there are active U.S. Navy ships operating in and around the Strait of Hormuz as of today in May. Today is May 1st, by the way. Blah, blah, blah. This is blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Warships in the Strait. U.S. guided missile destroyers Frankie Peterson and Michael Murphy have transited the Strait of Hormuz multiple times in April for mine cleaning, blockade enforcement, and related operations. Other destroyers, USS Spruance, however you say that,
who is that?
Have been involved in interceptions. Those are ships that they stop.
Yeah, who produced that propaganda? Where's that source of propaganda from?
I just did an internet search.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of lying.
Hold on. I do have a citation here. What is this? This is news dot. This is a U.S. Naval Institute news.
Yeah,
you would think they would know.
U.S. Naval Institute. So it sounds like a
USNI
made up news arm that I've never heard of.
It looks like
fake news. Sounds like fake news.
Looks like normal shit.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, it's because it's a made up propaganda arm.
No, I don't think so. But let's continue. Oh, yeah. Wait, there's a YouTube thing too.
Yeah, the YouTube
this is just some shipping camera bullshit. I don't care about that. All right, let's see what else we got here. More than a dozen U.S. warships plus over 100 aircraft and thousands of personnel are involved in the operation. USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is positioned nearby in the Gulf of Oman, roughly 200 kilometers south of the Iranian coast. Additional assets include submarines and marine forces. Obviously, we have no idea where the submarines are.
Yeah.
Although we did sink one of their submarines.
Yeah, so 200 kilometers away is the only data point that you were given there, which supports what I was saying.
No, that actually supports what I was saying. No, you just want to discount the source because you haven't heard of it.
Where I said
I don't know that source is a good source.
In Oman, the Gulf of Oman, which is way far away from the Strait of Hormuz.
That's the aircraft carrier, which is always the case.
Kilometers away from
That's
Iran.
Always the case with an aircraft carrier.
You can't be 200 kilometers away from Iran and be close to the Strait of Hormuz in the Gulf of Oman. It's not.
What do you mean throttling, cleaner? Am I being throttled right now? Did Anson get me throttled? You fucker. I did it. I fucking did it.
What happened?
Let's see. High tension area, risk of escalation, the laid mines. Yeah, I guess they've said that they're going to fire on any ship that they suspect is laying mines, and somebody else said they were too.
Yeah, but they've been laying mines within the last week. Like Iran's announced that.
I don't think so. Is it buffering and messing up just me? Well, that's interesting. I have good signal right now, as far as I can tell. Anson's not buffering at all.
Yeah, and I've got the YouTube video up from YouTube, and
I do too.
It's clean, so
I do too. It is, it looks good. Yeah, I don't know why that's. I don't know why it's a problem.
I think it's because you're in California, smoking spaceman. You've got that communist internet.
There you go.
That's what that is. You gotta move to Alabama and get the real free market internet where they make it good. You know, you get it with a free double wide. Did you get new glasses, Grid? Those look like new glasses.
They are new glasses.
Yeah, they look good.
They're my actual first set of prescription glasses in like 3 years. I normally just wear reading glasses because they're cheap and I can replace them, but I decided what the hell.
Yeah, it's okay, Grid. You can be wrong about Iran. You know,
I'm not wrong about Iran. You're wrong about Iran. And you're wrong about the ships not being in the strait. This is pretty cool, actually. Hold on, let me see. Can I make that bigger? Why won't it make it bigger?
I like how immediately after the United States said that they would be going into the Strait of Hormuz and stopping the Iranian Navy. The Iranian Navy boarded one of those cargo ships and brought it to their shore. Did you remember that from that was like last week?
No, I wasn't paying attention. What was the name
they basically said fuck you to the United States and hijacked 2 cargo ships and brought them to the Iranian shore using their non-existent navy that we've destroyed.
How did they do that when they don't have any ships left?
Yeah, that's my point.
I'm asking, how did they do that?
They used their navy that we haven't destroyed.
I don't think they have any.
They took a high definition video of it and posted it. And
what kind of boats do they have?
They're small
Are they
boats.
fishing boats?
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. They don't need big boats to create enough chaos to close the strait. All they have to do is cause us economic pain.
There we go.
It's asymmetrical warfare grid. It's what we did to the British, right? And that's why I like the Iranians so much. They have the same revolutionary spirit that we did when we fought against the British. We're the British in this scenario, though.
So this is the map.
Yeah.
And this is obviously they're not showing us where the ships are, but the ships are somewhere.
Nowhere near there.
My mouse isn't showing up. Why is my mouse not showing? It should show up on this. Yeah. They should be right here.
Yeah, none of that's anywhere near where there's a United
Traffic
States
separation, scheme, bound lane, hazardous area, restricted for all traffic. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's what it looks like now. So the Iranians have laid mines, and there's 2 approved Iranian shipping lanes that they've told everyone, since Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz now, where all the ships can travel, because they want to see who's going through the strait and be able to interdict them if they're from any of the aggressive nations like Qatar or Saudi Arabia or UAE.
Mister, we weren't planning to nuke Britain.
And they weren't planning to nuke us, right? Because it was against their religion.
Yeah, okay.
Islam is a religion of peace, Grid.
You said that with a straight face. That was awesome. That's great. They look like the glasses Michael Douglas had in Falling Down.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I did not know that. That's pretty funny. What about the underwater drones? We've got a lot of underwater drones now.
No, the Iranians have underwater drones that they've developed.
Yeah, we do too. We actually have some really cool ones.
Yeah, so because the United States isn't negotiating in good faith after the ceasefire, what the Iranians have been doing is traveling around to people like the Omanis and the Pakistanis and the Russians and other countries, the Turks, and they're basically also independently talking to the Gulf Coast nations to try and set up a new paradigm for things to work, since the United States is basically defunct and irrelevant in the region right now. And so basically what Iran's doing is setting up themselves as the regional hegemon. And it'll be more apparent to us in a month or so.
I don't think so.
When we have to apologize and leave, and
I think after we finally kill all of their leadership, which we're almost done with, it's going to be the end of it.
Yeah. We'll see who's right in a month.
Yeah. You said it was already going to be over, Anson.
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't realize Trump would be this dumb. He's basically ensured that there's going to be a global recession.
Anson? You said 2 weeks ago it won't last another 2 weeks.
There's going to be a global recession, right? Like he's
really carrying this much water for Iran. He really is.
Yeah, I'm not trolling. I'm speaking the truth, right? Basically what Trump has done. If he goes another month or two, like there's going to be a global depression. It's not going to be pretty.
Why do you think that?
Because okay, there is a significant amount of resources that come out of that area that are no longer going out, and there's a direct correlation between the growth of an economy and the amount of oil and energy it uses, right? Mm-hmm. And so what we've done is guaranteed that energy resources, right, have gone back to like 2011 levels. Sure. So we've shaved off 36% or so of the global economy, right? So we've forced a
wait. Hold on, we have not done that actually.
We have forced a correction
because
to the economy that is greater than the Great Depression.
We're allowing oil and other products through the strait.
There's nothing going through. It's very minimal compared to what it usually is.
We're allowing non-Iranian ships through.
None of that's going through.
It is going through.
No, Iran's not letting it because they control the strait.
Iran doesn't control
They
anything.
do control the Strait.
They don't.
They do. That's what you don't understand, because you're receiving Western media, right? And the countries in the Gulf Coast countries and the countries around the world know the truth about this, and that's why I said that Iran's going around and negotiating their own deal, because the United States is basically defunct in the region.
That's not even close to the truth.
It is. That is the truth.
Anson, we literally like take out anything they put up in the air. Like it doesn't last 2 seconds.
That's irrelevant.
It literally, they can't even shoot rockets at us anymore. They are defunct. They are the ones that can't get money in or out of the country. They can't do shit. They can barely make a fucking telephone call, Anson.
Every ship that has been allowed to go through the Strait has paid the toll to Iran.
Well, that's true. They're paying a toll, which everybody's apparently pissed off about. It's like, was it $2 million or some bullshit like that?
And that's what they're negotiating with the other countries, is what the rules of transit are going to be. It's like how Turkey controls the access to the Black Sea through the straits there. There's going to be the same sort of arrangement with Iran and Oman, where it's understood.
I don't think so. And actually, I think it's originally, that we were the ones getting blamed for that toll, by the way.
No, it is our fault. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the way we were getting blamed for it because everyone thought that we were collecting it.
Well, no, we caused it to be collected because of our needless war of aggression.
No, we didn't. I don't believe we caused it to be collected, but certainly everyone thought that we were the ones collecting it, and we had to disabuse the press of that because we're not collecting it. And I don't know that people are actually paying it because, again, Iran can't enforce anything. They lack the ability.
No, they
don't even have drones.
That's why I mentioned
they don't even have their aerial drones that everybody was so scared about right now because we literally just knocked them out of the air. That's they literally. You're trying to explain to me how a country that is toothless, that can't do anything, that is literally that the only reason that they currently exist as they are is Trump's unwillingness to put boots on the ground.
You mean inability?
No. Unwillingness, because that's what he promised. That's the promise he made to the United States of America, was no boots on the ground. No boots on the ground. If he puts boots on the ground, if Trump puts one fucking boot on the ground in Iran, that he will never hear the end of it. And
we don't have the army.
I'm sorry?
You don't have the army to be able to do a land invasion of any consequence.
Are you insane? He absolutely does.
No, we don't. It would take a million people.
Hold on. Why do you think that? Hold on. Why do you think that?
Because of the size of their army and the fact that we would be going into
the size of their army.
What?
They have what, 10,000 troops on Karg Island, and that's it.
No, they have like 200,000 in the IRGC, and if you add that to their regular and their reserve,
not anymore. They don't.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, they've got about 1 million man force that they can mobilize.
No.
They do. And we know that, and we have like tens of thousands there, like less than 30,000 like ground.
Yeah, it seems like a fair fight though.
Yeah, well, the point is that we don't have the military to be able to do any kind of substantive, like, actual ground invasion. It would be foolish.
That's what the Afghanistan said.
Yeah, and we lost that war. How'd that go?
We didn't lose the war. We walked away.
We did. Okay, so we didn't lose the Afghan. So we went in and deposed the oh fuck, I can't remember, the Taliban, and then 20 years later we were like, all right, we're leaving, and then the Taliban took back over. So are you saying that?
But it was a different. Hold on. In fairness, it wasn't the Taliban to start out with. It was the ISIL or ISIS or ISIS, whatever the fuck they were. Then it was the Taliban, and then it was something else again, ISIS again, I think, and then it became Taliban again. They renamed themselves Taliban for some stupid ass reason. It's not like it was the same leadership. It was the same group of ass monkeys. It was not, Anson. It wasn't a nation. It was just a bunch of fucking terrorists. And they did go back in. They took over like 2 towns and claimed victory, and that was it. And it wasn't even a major town.
No, they control the nation right now. Actually, they're in a conflict with Pakistan. at the moment because
in
Pakistan
Afghanistan.
Yeah,
Afghanistan is the Taliban don't control Afghanistan. They can. I mean, they might control like some northern towns or some bullshit.
Actually, the United States government actually sends them money too. Did you know that?
We send everybody money. Nothing surprising.
It's insane.
We send. Well, I mean, we. I think we're still sending Russia money for some stupid ass reason.
Yeah, because we're insane.
We are insane. We could agree on that. Like our government's out of fucking control.
Yeah, it's out of control. Yeah, we agree. We agree on that. We disagree on where. So.
This has been good. This has been fun.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's been good to finally flesh this out. You know, I'm used to arguing with other people, and you really like don't know what you're talking about. So it makes
you really don't know what you're talking about. You're like, oh no, this over here, these fucking drones that don't exist anymore because we blew
tens
the
of thousands of drones.
We literally turned the factory. So this is a funny thing about a lot of this. I've actually heard what you're saying from multiple people, but I remember watching as the bombs hit the drone factory and turned it into rubble, and literally I've watched it happen, and you guys are like, no, they're still making drones, and I'm like, no, they're not. They're not making drones. That factory's a fucking pile right now, and but it's good. It's good to hear people say that, right? Like it's good to hear people like regurgitate 3-week-old shit, but that's okay, you know.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Well, I think
I can be wrong about some things. I do not believe that. I do not believe anything that the Iranians say. It's just propaganda. No, look. They had the bomb. They had the bomb cam on full display when they destroyed that drone factory. That was fucking awesome. And they destroyed a bunch of other shit too. But the real problem we do have, and I'll give Anson this freebie. We own the Strait of Hormuz, and if we wanted to, we'd own Clark Island in like 3 hours. Like it's just a fact that's the way that would happen. But the reason why, we have two reasons why you don't. First, the whole no boots on the ground promise that Trump made. And I think that he's doing the absolute best he can to honor that promise of no boots on the ground. But the problem is that at some point, somebody's going to have to go over there and go through the underground fucking network of shit that the Iranians have built over the past 40 fucking years and root out all of it, because they still, while we've decimated most of their ability to produce bombs, missiles, drones, they still have some capability, because
that's all they need to close the strait.
It's literally buried under mountains of rock, and you're really gonna have to like bomb the shit out of the place, or something's gonna have to happen, because without actual boots on the ground, they can just shut themselves in there for a year or two, and just, I mean, obviously that's not winning, but it's certainly not losing either.
Well, see, and then the problem is that they've announced publicly very loudly that if we continue any kind of actual fighting, like bombing and things over there, or what you're talking about, like they've already listed out the targets that they're going to hit.
Yeah, who cares?
And when they announced the target,
none of that shit's real, Anson. Come on.
They actually hit them, and right, like they destroyed the Fifth Fleet base, and a whole bunch of other things. They've announced targets, and they always retaliate.
The Fifth Fleet base was empty. It didn't matter. Like we literally didn't care anything about it.
And even though they showed restraint and didn't hit civilian targets, unlike us, right? They showed restraint, and they're actually civil. They announced
Anson, you're wrong on this. I hate it for you that you're wrong. You're on the wrong side. You're letting your anti-Israel Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes kind of angst get to you, and it's clouding your judgment. But you're still a good dude, and I'm happy you're here. You're wonderful. You're a wonderful guest all the time. I really do enjoy it. But it is actually, Anson, you're one of the few that at least holds onto enough reality that the delusion is watered down. Like most of the time when I debate I don't debate, but when I discuss this with like a Candace Owens junkie or Nick Fuentes moron that's just an Israeli spurg, they don't know anything. They can't like you were actually pretty on point with. And when I mentioned Kuwaitis, when I mentioned Charlie Wilson's war, when I mentioned the fact that they came, you did try and deny the fact that they came over here 3 fucking times to ask for help. You just wanted to handwave that shit right away. But hey, man, most people wouldn't even know that. They just wouldn't know that happened. That's a real thing. I mean,
that we were fighting a proxy war in Afghanistan against the Soviets.
It's not a proxy war if they ask you to come help them, Anson.
You saying the Ukraine war isn't a proxy war because that no talent ass clown actor over there comes around?
No, so the Ukrainian war is just a crime against humanity.
Yeah. It's terrible what they're doing to the Russians, man.
I don't know that I 100% agree with that, but it's absolutely horrible what the American people are by default associated with in that stupid. And history is going to show that we were a bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of good, white Christian men who died, and there's no reason for it to have happened.
Look, Anson, it's not that Anson believes Iranian propaganda. He just believes a very specific set of propaganda because he has a predilection to that propaganda, because at this point he's really fucking annoyed, and look, rightfully so, that we're in yet another Middle Eastern war. Look, he's right to be annoyed by that. I disagree with his reasons for being annoyed, and I think that he's absolutely wrong in why. But it's free country, man. Be who you want to be.
Yeah, my main political issue has always been war. Like that's
true.
I'm a single issue voter on war.
I got TTS coming in. Oh, it's only $2. I have to read this one. Anson Owens is trolling hard tonight. Nice work. He's not. He was trolling a little bit, but I actually do. I am starting to believe that he actually believes this tripe, but that's all right. Hey man, history will show him that he's wrong, and it's okay. Anson Gondor calls for aid. We have to answer. That's right. We ride at dawn. That's true. Can other countries give America letters of marque? If they could, I'd already be a pirate. Just saying. You got anything else, Anson?
No, man. I'm all full up over here. I've been trying not to follow the negativity in the news, though. It's hard not to, I'm trying
which negativity? I don't actually watch the news. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking, like all the death and destruction going on in the world right now. I'm trying to peel myself away from that a little bit, because
I get you, man. I get you. I don't watch the news because I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And it's not that I believe that they're purposely trying to mislead. It's just the news has become an industry that's not about reporting factual, conceptual things. It's about selling a narrative. And I just, I get all of my news from either watching it happen live. Like, I actually really like it if I can watch it happen live. Then I can render my own opinion. I have to find sources that have at least some integrity, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the whole thing with Candace Owens and Fuentes. They're just insane people that will believe and sell any line of bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't watch. I don't watch. Disagree with me or agree with me. It's fine. Anson, you've certainly demonstrated at least cogent, if not reasonable or articulate arguments, or at least cogent, like that they are somewhat based in reality. At least you do that. Other people are just like, I'm like, the fuck, man? Like, what's wrong with you people? Like, come on, do better. But they don't understand anything about the history of the region. They don't understand anything about, and not just Iran. I mean, it could be anything. You could pick just, Alabama's, wanting a new Volkswagen factory. Or a new Mercedes factory down there. And people have a reason why or why not that ought to happen.
Yeah. Alabama's got some really shitty laws about that. If you want to talk about that, we can talk about that. There's we have all kinds of laws against bribery in the state, but none of them apply related to people who are in the economic development profession. And so if you're an economic developer, you can pay public officials to do things, but if someone else did it who was in a pressure group or wanted favors, then it would be considered a bribe. And so basically Alabama's legalized these large corporations to pay elected officials to get what they want. And they've written laws to prevent the negotiations for economic development from being public, right? From being public record, to prevent anyone from knowing exactly what these deals are until and how they're negotiated until after they're public. And so actually Alabama is kind of disgusting in how they do their governance. And I'm ashamed of how my government, my state operates. If you wanted to talk about, Volkswagen plants and economic development in Alabama, we could do that.
I mean, I think that Alabama is one of those burgeoning, emerging economies where there's a lot of potential, but also certainly a lot of hazards.
Yeah,
going forward. So
yeah, we've imported a lot of goddamn Yankees that need to go the fuck back home.
I agree. We have the same thing. What they've done is they built so many apartments in Nashville. Now I haven't checked in a year, but last year there were 18,000 surplus apartments. 18,000.
Yeah. That's a pricing problem, right? They're priced out of the market range.
No, they overbuilt. They overbuilt on credit. So they can't, the construction companies finish them, because if they don't finish them, they don't get paid. The developers can't not market them, because if they stop marketing them, the banks will foreclose on them. And then they get bought up for pennies on the dollar, and the bank loses a shit ton of money.
Yeah, the same thing happened in 2008 during that housing crisis, right?
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, with entire subdivisions. I remember that.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's going to be fucking. It's gay. It's just really bad.
Yeah.
Am I ready for the thousands of Starbucks employees who will be forced to move from Seattle? I should buy a home and charge them double. I actually have an empty house right now for rent. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms? Single level. On about an acre. If you want to move to Tennessee, I've got you, bro. $2,200 a month.
Yeah, Smoking Spaceman asked me about the voting rights amendment ruling that the Supreme Court had. So actually, our governor issued a decree today to have a special session of the state legislature to redraw our legislative districts and re-gerrymander everything based on the new voting rights amendment ruling that was handed down by the Supreme Court. So there's actually a whole lot going on with that. And we just a few years ago got out of a argument with the Supreme Court over our gerrymandering because they said it was racist or whatever. So
right. And they actually in Louisiana just set a landmark case.
That's why we're doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, for because their gerrymandering was racially based, and so they have they're actually in trouble right now.
No, it got
it got taken down, right? Yeah, it got taken down.
it got approved. The Supreme Court approved what Louisiana did.
Yeah, but they took it down. I mean, they struck down the and redistricted whatever. I can't fucking talk tonight. But they rezoned it because it was originally racially divided.
Right. So they basically reversed the racism that had been going on in the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah.
They basically returned gerrymandering to whatever the fuck the political class wants it to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fucking great.
Yeah, I agree. You know, gerrymandering belongs in the hands of politicians who are just evil enough to do it correctly.
That's fair. That might be the fairest thing you've said in a while, Anson.
Well, I mean, that's how it was written in the Constitution. You know, I mean, the legislator is the one, you know, charged with that duty because they're the people who are closest to the people in the government, right? It's just like the right to declare war is in the hands of Congress for that reason, you know? For the Constitution, even though it's not followed.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to get up out of here. It's 10 o'clock. I started a little bit early. I'm going to end a little bit early. I'm going to send you guys over to the Powdered Dusty. I may jump up on panel there for a couple of minutes. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to be gay, but, you know, still, it's fine. And in the meantime, as always, guys, be cool. Wear the glasses if you need them. And don't listen to Anson's bullshit. Because he's just trolling the fuck out of you. Guys, be cool. And I'm going to let my son wave goodbye to you. See ya.